What is up, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Sports Report After Dark. I am your host, Seven. With me is my partner in crime, my hetero life mate, a man who is on more lists than a repeat sex offender, Dan the Dick Warner, with me.
Dan a repeat sex offender.
Man, how was your day? You're working a lot. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going all right, man. Farming,
Farming.
Doing that farming thing.
Tell me, are the rumors true? Do ladies really love country boys? That's the question.
She doesn't think the tractor is sexy. That's definitely something I figured out. It's really just very hot inside those things. It's a box. The air conditioner doesn't work. Like
there's no AC really. Usually,
we got an outdoor one. We got the outdoor where you're just outside. That one's fine, right? Where you just ride around.
Because then you got the breeze on you and everything while you're moving, so that's not
perfect. Yeah, and they only go like 15 miles an hour, so it's not like you're getting hit with bugs in the face and shit. It's not like you're, and if you do, it's like just a normal, because they only go very fast. So
yeah.
I was in one with a cab today. It was 105 here, so that's good. We wired the door open so that we can get more air in that motherfucker. But and the air conditioner is just running full blast for no reason other than just make some noise. It doesn't do it. It's not doing anything. There's nothing left. But yeah, it's a John Deere from like the 80s. So
oh wow,
you know what I'm saying? Like this, yeah. It works for what it needs to work for, but it's not the most like luxurious of things. Some of these new combines they got like TVs and shit inside the fucking cab and stuff.
That's insane.
Yeah, because they're all automated. So
yeah. What's up, Ando? Thanks for jumping in, checking out. You guys can catch Ando on the Sports Report, which is normally what we do on Monday nights. But in light of a absolutely fucking bonkers weekend in the United States with a whole bunch of people dying and the craziness in Pennsylvania, we figured there was really no other way to approach this but to give the other guys the night off and just figure out how far we can go before we get canceled.
Yeah, which is to the end, because
I mean
it's freedom of speech and fuck off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's not like we have sponsors. We have nobody to like to appease with our content at this point. So
right, I'm gonna say that
we do have a sponsor actually.
Right, the most entertaining way I've ever heard somebody just say "fuck them" is Cafe and Christina was doing the raffles at the end of the night, and if they called a number and nobody was there, fuck them. And Steve Grimes hit that fucking verb just right and that echo just right, and it was
fuck. He did a fuck him. He did the fuck him. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it is perfect. We need to get we need to get Steve just a little like a sound bit of Steve just doing that, and then we just play it. Yeah.
I would say I've thought about trying to see if I can get him to record that one night so I can put it as a button on my board, because I think it'd be awesome. We would use the shit out of that. I really do.
The only thing Steve's ever been able to be musically inclined at is definitely just saying those two words with the right like cadence.
And when there's swearing or alcohol involved, Steve Grimes, that's who you want to talk to.
So he's all over it, man.
He's all over it.
And running awesome bars.
Oh, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Best place to go to in the city whenever he's got one. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So we got to start off with, and this was something that came out today, happened on Saturday, and I think it's absolutely fucking stupid that this kind of shit happens still. Terrell Davis was on a United flight with his family on Saturday, and was trying to get a flight attendant's attention because his son was asking for a cup of ice, and the flight attendant didn't hear him. Terrell Davis allegedly tapped the flight attendant on the shoulder to get his attention. Flight attendant said, "Don't touch me," went away quickly. When they landed, 6 federal agents put Terrell Davis in handcuffs and walked him off the plane, only to find out what actually happened, and then them obviously apologizing profusely at the event. What the fuck, man?
Why? I have so many questions. Was there how is there a camera that sees this inside there has to be a camera inside the plane, right? Don't they have cameras inside? Is that like a thing?
It's not typically, and honestly, I think it's either going to come to that. They're going to have to find a way to balance accountability for stupid fucking behavior, but because I mean, people do dumb shit on airplanes. We're not going to pretend that flight attendants don't have bullshit they got to deal with. But
Right.
also on the other side, there have been multiple documented instances of flight attendants abusing their power and being assholes. And they've got to be held accountable too. So you've got to find a way to balance that. And I think logically, you're just going to have to put cameras on airplanes. I think it's the only way to do it.
I don't know why they're not. It just seems weird to me why they're not on there already, I guess. But like, because you're understanding that you're in a public place, and if it's only used for like security type stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's not, they're not using it to like broadcast it. Like, I don't understand. Like, there's weirder places they have security cameras than inside of planes.
Right, but I mean, think about the technology that has to happen, the things that have to go into place for them to be able to store that much footage, because that's ultimately what you're looking at is how, how much footage do you have to store, how long do you have to store it, and I mean, because you think of a company like United or Southwest, I mean, they've got hundreds of planes in the air at any given time. That's a lot of fucking data. And
it is.
Because I mean, you can't just do one. It's not like you can just do one security camera for an entire fucking plane.
You probably have to have like 8 of them sensibly.
Right, realistically, at various points, like each exit, front, back, whatever else you end up having to do.
Right.
Like some of those big planes, especially international flights, double deckers. I mean, you're looking at probably end up having to have 15, 20 cameras on one plane.
Reasonably.
And how and how long do you have to keep that footage, and I think that's probably the reason why we don't have security cameras on airplanes, is because of the technological undertaking of that part of it. Because I mean, camera wise, that's not a huge investment, but the data storage of that alone is fucking astronomical.
Sure, but it makes me think Walmart stores their data for a certain amount of time, right? And how many fucking cameras are in that place? Like there's got to be at least probably 16 to 20 cameras in every Walmart, right?
Come on. You can't tell me that every security camera in a Walmart's on and functioning.
Well, I mean, there's at least 8 of them. There's at least as many as you would need to. I get what you're saying as far as like that has to be portable then, okay? But like that, like for every flight, it wouldn't, or for every day of filming, I guess it wouldn't be that bad, correct? Like there wouldn't be like that many, but you would just take it out and load it up or whatever. But I see what you're saying. Like it would be like a whole new thing. You'd have to literally have a dude who works on the fucking plane who just does that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, and then you have, and the other problem that you have is, do you just put a server on each plane that just stores that plane's data and you grab it if you need it? Like that, and that's the thing, is the data storage component alone. Because I think that's one of the things that faces companies today, is just being able to store all that data. Because today's age, you got to store so much shit of your when you with any of that stuff. So how do you reconcile that and keep things cost efficient for your customers?
Absolutely. I've actually looked into they have places like if you have land or anything, you can literally have these guys who'll just lease out your land, and they put like a big warehouse there. And like different companies, and it's literally all it is big like storage servers. So like these, and they're just like, they just have fans on them. They keep it cool all the time, and it's just like big compute. It's a big fucking external hard drive essentially. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's just a big external hard drive inside of a building that's basically storing no actual useful information. It's just, but it has to be there for some reason. I don't know why, but like that. I understand what you're saying. Like basically computers, or not computers, but external hard drives the size of fucking rooms.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I get what you're saying. So yeah, that's pretty nuts.
And that's the hard part. But and then you have to ask the deeper questions. Like, was this because it was a male flight attendant? So you kind of got to be stereotypical here. Did this male flight attendant know who Terrell Davis was and was trying to get some attention, maybe get some extra money out of this situation? I mean, because it's not like if you see a football player that is a millionaire that's flying fucking United for some reason, which I get he's not private plane rich, but
was he in first class? Or was he
I would assume as such. But like then you have to start asking those questions. Was this a situation of this is somebody that knew who Terrell Davis was? Is this somebody, I mean, there's so many fucking questions you have to ask with this because rich people get taken advantage of.
For sure. And rich people also do dick things. So there's a 50-50
right.
within there's a 50-50 within but like, so if he knew it was Terrell Davis, okay, that's one scenario where he could have been looking for money. But the thing is, like, how much money does he really expect to get out of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not going to, like, actually get these guys to sensibly, like, take Terrell Davis off the plane. He can sue Terrell Davis for what, I guess. I mean, there's, like we said, there's no video evidence, so you really can't do anything with that. Number two, he doesn't know who Terrell Davis is, okay? And Terrell Davis is 6 foot 230, and I bet Terrell Davis is still in fucking really good shape. And I mean, the dude's arms when he was playing, and probably still are. He's not that far from being. I mean, the guy's probably in his early 50s, late 40s.
Yeah,
like so he's in his late 40s. Probably looks like he's probably fucking jacked still, right? So he's a big individual. Okay, he's black. Okay, so if he doesn't know who he is, then it's probably intimidating,
right?
Right, but at the same time, like I don't know. I'd love to know what actually happened, because it could have been a situation of like, hey, buddy, like real hard on his shoulder. Do you know what I'm saying? And the dude was like, what the fuck, man? Right,
because,
right.
Hard, because the amount of force that Terrell Davis has, is it he didn't realize his own strength thing when he tapped the guy on the shoulder, and the guy was actually felt like it was a hard tap? Like that's a relevant question, because you can't just sit here and say Terrell Davis is probably innocent and this flight attendant was just being a dick.
Had he asked the guy 3 times and the dude shrugged him off, rolled his eyes, did some dick shit to him, so he went back and said, hey, buddy, and gave him the little, and then so there was something interpersonally had to have happened in this. I don't think it was a situation where he just walked up and was like, hey, bud, I can grab it was really nice about it, and the guy was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. There's something that happened before that, I feel like, between the two of them, almost.
Right. And that's the thing is how do you because this is another situation that happened over the weekend where you've just got so many fucking questions that, will we ever get the answers to? Because of a situation like this? Probably not. Realistically.
When you said when you started this, you said something like this should never happen, and I was like, oh, he's gonna talk about Trump getting shot. I was like, oh nope, Terrell Davis, gotcha.
No, I mean,
no, I'm kidding.
Obviously, fucking that shit shouldn't have happened, and I have so many fucking questions about that. And we have time at the end of the show. We'll kind of dive into that.
Oh God,
I'm gonna put
we're gonna need a whole show for that, dude. That is like it. Just, dude, I'm not even like a conspiracy guy. Like, I'm really not.
No, let's save it. Okay, and so the next thing, and I intentionally didn't tell you about this, and I don't know if you saw this in the sports report chat. It was announced today that Skip Bayless is retiring and will be leaving Undisputed later on this summer.
Wow, I did not see that.
All of my arch nemesis are retiring. Now, as I'm starting to hit my groove, I'm in a much better space.
Right,
I'm going to feel more confident in what I'm doing. Now my arch nemesis are all leaving. We got Manfred leaving in 2029, which is not fucking soon enough. Fuck you, Rob Manfred.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
I'm leaving in 2029. It's like, the fuck? Okay, why'd you have to tell us that? You know what I'm saying? Like, just tell us in 2028 maybe. Like, right. I don't give a shit, Rob Manfred. Like, okay.
So maybe so we can party longer. I mean, like, because like when Angel Hernandez retired, right. I wish I would have known. Like, I could have celebrated. I could have, gone the Joey Chestnut route and ate 200 boneless buffalo wings from Buffalo Wild Wings. That's just a stupid psychotic number, by the way.
We could have just like called each other and not picked it up, so it said missed call during the whole time. We're like, got me again. He's leaving. Like, yeah.
No, but that's it's. But here's my thing on Skip Bayless, because I don't think, as much as there can be a lot of frustration in regards to Skip because of the fact that he's really good at bringing about those sports takes that just piss people off, which I want to remind everybody, as much as we joke about Skip Bayless, that's his fucking job.
Yeah, and guys, he knows he's doing it. Just so you know.
And he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because there's not anybody else in the format today that can stand with Skip Bayless. Stephen A can't. He can try to pretend he fucking does, but he can't.
Skip's such a G.
He is a G, and Cowherd's not a debater. Cowherd is a commentator.
Cowherd is the guy who literally is like the talk show guy. So like there's two different formats there that you're looking at. Like you're looking at the actual the debate guys. Yeah.
Cowherd is a Catholic Rich Eisen. That's what he is.
That's fair. Yeah. That's
I
fair.
mean,
I never made the connection he's Catholic, but now it makes so much sense.
It's honestly that's just an assumption. Because Rich, like regardless of the religion that Rich Eisen is, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful manner as an insult in any way, but like if you look at it, you just like your first thought is that guy Jewish? Like I mean that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like dude, yes, and it does influence things outside. Like what dude Chappelle said it the best. He's like, okay, he's like, black people eat. He's like fried chicken and watermelon. He's like, it's not a reason to hate a motherfucker. It's funny, but it's not a reason to hate a motherfucker. Like that's the whole like that's the best. It's the best line ever. It's like that's shit like that. It's like Jew, and like people think I'm like if you think we're being fucking anything offensive. No, it's not like it matters if they're Jewish to other attributes of their life that are just funny. It's not a reason we don't hate them because nobody hates anybody because of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
right.
I mean, so dumb. Like yeah, no, I get it though. Sorry. Yeah. Like Catholic, okay, he's probably a cool dude. I don't fucking care if he's Catholic.
Right. But that's the thing is like Cowherd, like you've got like big Catholic or big Mormon vibes out of Cowherd. But
it's funny that he acts like a Catholic guy. Like that's the funny part about it. Like it is. And there is different outside of that. It's not the religion.
Whereas with Rich Eisen, like just in his appearance, his voice, his cadence, the way that he talks, like, and I think some of that's just because he's in the Northeast, which is obviously a very Jewish. It has a huge Jewish population anyway.
Isn't Cowherd too? Or Cowherd's in LA now, but
Cowherd's in LA. But I think he did spend some time up in the Northeast. I mean, especially because that's where it all was for the longest time, and Cowherd was on ESPN for a while. So I would assume but
that's what I thought.
Cowherd is it just doesn't have that same cadence to where you start like, is there Jewish heritage? Like it's just right. And that's the thing. And whereas as Cowherd, it's definitely like Catholic. White American, the more stereotypical white American. The haircut doesn't help it.
But he is super smart. He's like the king of analogies too. He uses analogies all the time. He's like LeBron going to LA is like he's like a cucumber, and he's like what the fuck is he talking about? And then you're like, God damn it, that makes sense somehow. What the fuck is like with this guy?
He paints a picture, and I will always respect Cowherd. Like and you and I have talked about it on this show. Is one of the things I always respect about Cowherd is he has that segment where Colin was wrong.
Yeah,
and he calls himself out.
Yeah,
and you don't see that on anybody else's show.
Well, PTI kind of does it.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. PTI does it.
Like that's not really the same thing. He's actually saying like, oh, I was wrong about this take. Like this is not a good take. Right? Yeah. Because if you're gonna be that opinionated about stuff. And like the thing is, most of the time he's spot on though. Like you really can't go outside like the fact that he is fucking spot on most of the time. And like even if you don't like him, some of the stuff you got to agree with if you're open minded enough. Like you have to.
It's and I've talked about this with a couple of friends of mine. My issue with Cowherd has always been his voice just sounds fucking weird to me.
Dude,
but I know my voice sounds weird to people. So I mean, but I still watch Cowherd.
Josh Riggs says he won't fucking watch Colin Cowherd because he doesn't. He goes, his voice is fucking weird for his face. He's like, that's what he says. It's so funny because it is.
I get it. I can't argue with that. And that's the thing but that's the great thing about guys like Cowherd is I'm not going to sit there and rip apart his takes, and because like Bayless wants you to rip apart his takes. Cowherd wants to tell the story and
tell the truth, kinda.
You tell the truth and tell the story, but he does offer perspective on the situation.
Sure.
He paints a picture like the way that I look at Cowherd is the way that I feel like actual news media should be more like than what we get today, which is very biased and very opinionated. Tell the story, work your part in a little bit because you're a person. We're watching you. We want to understand you a little bit, but tell the fucking story. And that's what Cowherd does really well, and that's why I respect him so much.
Absolutely, and he's obviously a radio guy,
right?
So
right.
That's why Riggs thinks that he's weird because Riggs learned him on the radio, because that's where most people heard him first, was when he had his, the show and everything. And then you see his face, and now his face. I actually saw him first when he was on the TV, so it's like it doesn't weird me out that his voice sounds like that. I understand what you're saying, because it does. Like if I just heard his voice and I was like, nah, that sounds like a portly man. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it is. It's not like that. It's like, oh, he looks, he's a good looking Catholic guy. Look at him. No,
I mean, he definitely has that stereotypical look, and that's for me. That's where that analogy comes from. And but when you look at a guy like Skip, he is the godfather of that format. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. But there's also nobody doing it now that can hang the way that Skip Bayless does, because like Shannon Sharp, when he's on First Take on Mondays, or not First Take, on Stephen A. Smith show, whatever that is, on Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, it is First Take, isn't it? No, because wait, what's
it's First Take? It's First Take.
It is First Take. Okay, because
Undisputed is Skip show. Yeah.
Right, but what's the one that fucking Nick does?
Dude, I can't even keep up with the names of them, because I feel like they change a lot. Like
it's whatever. So anyway, whatever this is Stephen A. Smith show is, when Shannon's on there on Monday, like it's the format for that is even different than what Skip does on Undisputed, and so it's still there's
things
more
first
commentary. First things first. But on First Take, like it's still they're not debating it, they're talking about it. There isn't as much of a deep dive or a debate with a lot of their topics, whereas with Undisputed, they hammer it, they go back and forth, they pick a topic, especially those first few, they're 10, 15, 20 minutes, they're talking about that topic and going back and forth on it.
Yeah.
And you just don't see that anywhere else. And I don't really know if there's anybody that can truly keep that feel going that Skip Bayless created. Let's be real. Skip Bayless created that feel. Is there anybody that can hang like that now? Because I don't see it.
No, I don't think for one of Skip's things is he is fucking incredibly prepared. Don't act like just because this guy has the fucking same 3 opinions that he's not this guy's incredibly fucking prepared, dude. For sure. It's got to be. What do you think, Tony? His strategy has to literally be that he fucking the night before will just fucking write down points, and he'll go 110% at that point and stick with it fucking regardless of what anybody else is saying. That's almost it's almost what it is, right? And he'll just he's got to get this one thing down is what it seems like. It's even though he might want to agree with some points live, it's almost like he sticks with the point and doesn't go away from it at all. It's fucking hammered, dude. He goes 110% the whole time. Is that fair?
No, that's fair. And I think that's one of the things that so many people get frustrated about with Skip is because it doesn't matter how much evidence Skip has that he's wrong. If he's decided something, he's it. The Jordan debate.
That's every Jordan. That's a weird one, but that's every Jordan. Yes.
But his Jordan debate, his feeling on the Cowboys, he's you can't tell him that he's wrong on stuff with the Cowboys. Once he's decided his position on whatever it is, that's what it is to him.
Yes.
That's it. And there's so many of those things where he just locks in, whereas a lot of other debaters and commentators are willing to be more fluid with their opinion because they're more willing to look at evidence as far as their on-screen persona is. But on screen, Skip Bayless is, I think what I think, and you're wrong.
Yep.
Regardless of what evidence you have that says otherwise. And that's what makes the show so interesting is every, when they go about a topic, I've noticed the way that the format works with them is they'll talk about it and they'll at least give their initial position and whatever that initial 2-minute spot is back and forth. And then it just starts chiseling away at a deeper level and a deeper level on both sides. And they get down into the nitty gritty of that. And it doesn't matter how much contradictory information that hurts Skip's opinion as it goes down, he doesn't change. And people get so frustrated when they watch that, regardless of how much they do that actually in their everyday fucking lives. They don't like how he digs in.
he's probably pretty open-minded. He's a smart guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you talk to him, he would absolutely bend more on those kind of things than like he does on the show. And like Skip figured out that I don't need people to like me or like anybody on the show. They can hate me, and it's actually better because it's easier to get people to hate you, sadly, right? And this is how I can do it is just basically hold my points, like in things that people hate, like the Dallas Cowboys. Like, and just hold my points, and people can hate me. They don't have to like me. It's the weirdest. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's a weird dynamic.
Because, well, and there's, and obviously he's a college educated man. And he has, one of the things that I think a lot of people don't recognize about Skip, if you only have a surface level knowledge of him, is he actually has a pretty deep understanding of the human psychology.
Absolutely.
I firmly believe he took a lot more psychology classes in his time in college than anybody understands, because he understands that people are more willing to engage with something that they disagree with than something that they agree with. And in the modern day, engagement is currency. Sure. Skip Bayless has been ahead of the curve from the fucking beginning.
Yeah. It's a good point. Like,
because
it's genius. The actual format, like what did we just do there, Tony? We actually just took those things and peeled them apart like an onion. We did. We got down to the fucking, see, right? Like, he's doing that like fucking, he's doing that so deeply. And like you said, like, engagement is money. And he knows exactly like how to get like eyes on the fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like eyes for the longest time on something. That's why they always, all the fucking videos you see on Facebook and stuff streaming by say, watch till the end, because people's time is the actual, you know what I'm saying? Like, the more time people spend with something, the more they're going to be in, and they are more likely to engage with something that they disagree with strongly. You know what I'm saying? And in a strong way, they will disengage with it, which to people now literally means just watching it for half an hour. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's a pretty strong engagement at first, you know.
It's and engagement is definitely currency, and that time is more, time and engagement as a whole are more of a currency than actual dollars these days, just because of how crazy the economy is.
Yep.
Even with how crazy the economy is, most people have access to a cell phone and data and can watch shit online. So guess what? TV ratings don't hold that weight that they used to when we were younger. You know, TGIF and all of that other shit for primetime TV on Monday through Thursday night. Now it's engagement online.
Yep.
And when you can have the ability to eloquently be wrong 90% of the time. Okay, well, all right, I'll change it. 75% of the time.
There you go.
You have the ability to elegantly be wrong 75% of the time. You are going to drive engagement, and people are gonna not like you. But guess what? They're still gonna come watch your shit because you piss them off, and they want to talk about how much you're wrong.
Yep. They want to, like, it's just, it's egregious that he's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's really what, like, that's why him and Stephen A were so perfect, because Stephen A is like the over the top, that's egregious guy. Like, that's the guy, you know, it's like, that's so ridiculous, I just want to yell about. Like, that's Stephen A, like, to a T, right? That's why they were so good together.
Right.
Yeah, he's the over the top, like, no. Like, yeah, it's like, and Stephen A bought into that, by the way. Like, him and Skip had an understanding. Whether or not they ever actually talked about it, like actually person to person or not, they definitely had an in studio, like, live understanding of each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really did. Like, they knew who which one was in it for which, and like how they were going to react to the whole thing, and like they probably played off that as far as like writing their content and everything. So
for sure. And the thing that I don't think a lot of people recognize when it comes to that type of a product is you're going to have consistent results, you know, and Skip Bayless, as he's talked in like his own podcast and like through books and shit like that. And he's talked about like the experience of the, coming up through ESPN and their program on ESPN2 outshining SportsCenter in the morning, because so many more people were watching him and Stephen A go back and forth instead of watching highlights and watching, you know, what's going to happen on this day in sports. No, people would rather watch two guys argue.
Hi, Martha.
Than give it up for Martha, everybody. Thank you, baby.
Hi, Martha.
These guys that people would rather watch these guys argue than really than actually get information, actual relevant information.
The opinions behind, like, not like a stat line, not like, oh, he had 19 carries for 120. It's like, why did he have 19 carries? Or why didn't he have? Or why did he get injured? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, he was injured, but like, why did he get injured? Like, is there stuff going on behind? Like, it's the fucking personal side of it. Like, like, there are very few people who are all about just like statistics and like the whole numbers game of sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
right.
Like, that's what we made this show based on, which is fucking ironic. Like, it was like there's the people behind sports are the actual what people want to see. It's not really like, it's not so much about while what they do is fucking amazing. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, that's why we watch it. It's fun to watch, but like, yeah, it's very interesting, the people behind it.
The perspective on what people see in sports has changed in the last 30 years, because even up into the 90s, it was more about the stats. Like, when I was young, I used to be able to throw stats out about different football and baseball and basketball stars and stuff when I was a kid, because I learned to reading the sports section.
Right.
Because I loved watching sports when I was a kid, and my mom didn't have the money to send me to preschool, and she was getting clean while I was going to kindergarten. So I didn't reliably go to school in kindergarten, honestly. And that's not a knock at her. She was trying to get right, and I understand. I learned to reading the sports section, so I knew a lot of those stats. Well, now it's not just about the stats, because if it was just about the stats, LeBron would be MVP in the NBA almost every year.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes would have been the MVP of the NFL far more times than he has. Like, and those are just small references, because it's not just about the stats anymore. It's about the eye test. It's about the why, like you talked about.
Right.
Why did that player get 126 yards on 19 carries?
Yeah.
And that has expanded, and the thirst for that knowledge has gotten deeper since media has expanded really in the last 30 years. So, but you're going to go back to, for sports TV, I think there's going to be a time where sports TV is going to see a big drop in numbers, because First Take doesn't do it. And you can there's only so much interest and reliance on guys like Cowherd and Greg Carton and stuff like that are just painting the picture.
Yeah.
So somebody's going to have to pop out and truly bring that debate energy back to sports TV, because that's one of the things that's driven it in the last 30 years.
Do you know who's got a huge shot? You know who's got a huge shot at it? I agree with everything you're saying there, Tony. Do you know who's got a huge shot to do that too? Like, to be the, like, continues it? Fucking Nick Wright, dude. Nick Wright is the new Skip Bayless. Like, dude, that's new school Skip Bayless. I'm not saying that he's going to get Skip Bayless type because Skip Bayless had the perfect timing for it too. Like, dude, no, I don't know a motherfucker right now, honestly, that has the fucking time or anything to watch 3 hours of sports shows in the morning. I honestly don't know a person.
That is a true hit to the format.
Right. See, so like I have time to watch stuff. I'm not saying like I'm super, like, right. But like, I watch it on my own time. Anything that I watch on TV, I have fucking loaded up. Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, fucking great series. Got it fucking teed up right after this, bud. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have watched the fucking home run derby and shit, like on MLB. We got MLB. I don't need to be scheduled like, oh, it's on at 9:00. No, nothing's on. You know what I'm saying? Like, live sports is the only thing that's left. Like, it's definitely not fucking sports shows, because those are all on ESPN.com or whatever. Like, right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, on Fox Sports Net or whatever. Like, they're all on.
Right.
So, yeah.
Really quick update for everybody that's watching. Teoscar Hernandez and Bobby Witt Jr. are in the final of the home run derby. Teoscar's going first. Bobby Witt will go next. I'll keep everybody updated with what happened there. Okay.
Teoscar Hernandez was 900, or was it plus 900?
Plus, yeah.
To win.
It was, I thought it was crazy how Bobby Witt Jr. was so favored. I love it, but I was surprised, because up until really middle of last season, people weren't taking the comment seriously that Bobby Witt Jr. is legit a modern day great fucking shortstop. Oh, a great hitter, great in the field, like a legitimately great young player, one of the next young faces in baseball.
Yep.
And the second half of last season, people started to catch on. This year, all eyes are on Bobby Witt Jr. He's one of the best shortstops in baseball. The only reason he's not starting as shortstop in the All-Star game tomorrow is because the other best young shortstop in baseball is Gunnar Henderson, and he plays for the fucking Orioles, and they're both AL teams.
Yeah, but I think Bobby got the second most, or no, it was the second most votes. It was something up, but he would have been like one of the highest players selected outside of, like, he should have any other position. Bobby Witt starts basically besides
absolutely, yeah,
center field.
I mean, outside of center field, outside of center field, because Stephen Kwan had that locked up. Because Stephen Kwan is just having a great fucking season.
One plays left. It's Aaron Judge in the
AL. Okay. So I mean, like center, left, they're locked in,
and right.
But really any other infield position, and he's starting. But
I think he starts over Juan Soto and Stephen Kwan for sure.
You think he starts? I don't know because Soto, because of what he's doing at the plate. I'm not saying he's a super special right fielder. Like fielding wise, he's above average. But
he's a terrible. I think he's a terrible right fielder. I just talked to her about that last night, dude. I was like, it's a good thing that fucking Juan Soto is hitting 306 and he's a dog. He has a 460 on base percentage, dude. He's such a. It's been a mastery to watch. We're not talking about the Yankees, but like, but yes, Bobby Witt Jr. is the real fucking deal, y'all. I went to a fucking Kauffman Stadium fucking Royals Yankees game last year where Bobby Witt hit his 30th home run to go 30-30. He was the first fucking Royal for like what 30 years or something to go 30-30 or something like that. Like maybe just the second one ever. I don't know which one it was, but like, yeah, I watched him go. He has easy power, dude. This he's been around for, his fucking swing.
And that's the thing is, I love watching him at the plate, like in the field or in the plate. He's so fucking good.
Smooth.
But I do. Speaking of the Yankees, I do want to talk about this because we're kind of gonna do some other stuff just because we're not doing a sports report tonight.
How long do we have? No, I'm just kidding.
That's up to us. Dude, the Yankees have a Clay Holmes problem.
I call him Clay Roller Coaster Holmes. Because every time it's, hey, Clay's up. Woo! Here we go. Let's see what can happen.
He blew another fucking save on Saturday and blew that game against the Orioles. And don't get me wrong, I get that there were some fielding issues there, because Verdugo slipped for the walk-off game-winning run. The fielding issues on the pitch before, in the batter before, but like he put those balls where they could be hit like that.
Have you seen?
And he's blown like 17 of his last 20 saves.
Yes. Have you seen this movie Killing Them Softly?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about with Brad Pitt? Okay.
Yeah.
Markey. Clay Holmes is Markey. Do you know what I'm saying? Where they fucking hold up the card game or whatever and like, hey, it's Markey. Markey's had it done once, so it's got to be Markey the next time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when he gets held up the second time or whatever, that's Clay Holmes. Because it doesn't matter if the fucking fielders make errors or whatever. Like it's Clay Holmes' fault because Clay Holmes fucking does it every time. He had a runner on fucking first and second base before they made any errors. You know what I'm saying? Like so, like he's Markey, dude. Like he's a fucking it's Clay Holmes.
It's so. I mean. What do you do for the Yankees? Do you try to trade for a closer? Boston's not giving up Kenley Jansen. Boston's knocking on the fucking door right now.
We don't need a closer. I don't think we need a closer. I think we have one.
You see, because you're not going to get Craig Kimbrell because Craig Kimbrell's fucking stuff up too. But Baltimore's fighting you guys for the division, so they're not giving up Craig Kimbrell.
No, I don't think that they would. Yeah.
And I don't know of somebody that is on the market that is a legitimate closer. So
it's a problem. You're right. And I think a lot of it is like, dude, he throws a cutter. One of his pitches is like he basically throws about 80% of the time. It's a fucking cutter or something. It's a really good cutter. I think is what it is.
He's a very Maddox-esque like pitcher. I think he's only got like 2 pitches that he really uses.
Right, and like that one pitch, sometime I think it's a 2-seamer or a cutter. It just cuts a little bit back and forth. It doesn't really matter. But the thing is, sometimes that is fucking so nasty that it moves 14 inches, like it literally just goes and it's to the side and it drops out and he's nasty. And then that's the Clay Holmes I like. Sometimes that fucking pitch doesn't move, so it's a 96 mile an hour fastball that just goes right down the middle of the plate because it's a pitch he has to throw down the middle of the plate, right? Because it has to start down the middle and break off. And if it doesn't break, dude, he gets fucking crushed, bro. Like it's batting practice. It's batting practice.
But I mean, the concern if you're the Yankees, especially because of the fact that you've actually got a team that outside of the back end of your bullpen, and I'm saying it like that, outside of the back end of your bullpen, because that's what's fucking the Yankees right now, is the back end of your bullpen. You guys are a great team. That is a solid Yankees team. It's one of the better lineups that they've had since 2009.
For sure.
So how do you correct that problem? Because there is a lot of talent in the American League right now. That's the gauntlet of talent right now for the Yankees, is what they're going to face in the American League, because Baltimore is not just going to give it up. Boston has made it clear they're not fucking around. I mean, you steal 9 bases on that Yankee infield in one fucking game.
Yeah.
Like, Boston's not going anywhere. Cleveland's not going anywhere. Kansas City's not going anywhere.
No.
So, and that's just what's in the American League. Plus, if you make the World Series, who you're going to have to face in the National League, which is probably going to be the Dodgers, the D-backs. Yeah, that's pretty much what it's going to be. It's going to be an NL West team.
For sure.
How do you, as the Yankees, what do you have to do to adjust? Do you try to pull one of your current guys to step it up, move everybody back into the point where they're in the middle, and hope to God you can get through it at the end of the game?
Bro, I want Michael Tonkin to be our fucking closer. Have you seen that fucking guy?
Call Bartolo Colon, see if he wants to come out of retirement.
Bro, Michael Tonkin. Have you seen Michael Tonkin?
I have not.
Please look at a picture of Michael Tonkin for me right now on your computer. Look it up. And then that's who I want to be our closer, but it doesn't matter. It's a joke. You're gonna laugh. But like Michael Tonkin is fucking awesome. But Tommy Kahnle could be a closer, okay? Tommy Kahnle could be a closer, and fucking Jonathan Loaisiga could be a closer.
Loaisiga could be a closer.
Loaisiga's on a 60-day diet. 60-day
that is a fucking broom-ass mustache.
Dude, this motherfucker looks like a geography teacher from Maine. Like
he looks like Andy Reid discovered Weight Watchers and chose baseball.
Bro, he's like fucking, and he's like a young. Well, hang on, how old is he? I'm gonna see his age real quick. This guy's hilarious, dude. But he's actually pretty good. Oh, dude, he's my age, bro. That guy is my age. He's 35 years old.
Yeah, he's November of '89, so he's right there.
He's younger than me,
and he's at that age where you would want him as a closer. That's the perfect age for a pitcher to be a closer, because you need a max of 6 outs from this guy.
I don't really want to.
Most of the time, it's only 3.
Like, just for like style concerns with the Yankees, I don't want him to be our closer, because he's the goofiest bastard alive. On like when he's pitching, it's hilarious. But if he gets the job done,
here's the thing: if you're gonna go with a loopy guy, call Zach Greinke.
I see what's going on with Tonkin here. Oh, Greinke to be a closer?
Yeah, call Zach Greinke.
Awesome,
that would be
perfect.
perfect.
Trevor Bauer.
And that's the thing. I don't get how he's not signed.
What are we
Every
doing?
fucking time he has been cleared. This is clearly Robert Manfred. Like, oh yeah, no, he can be signed by any team at any time. He is a free agent. Really? Dude has been cleared in court every time. Every time an accuser says he did something, it comes back that they were fucking lying, and he has to sue him. And he still can't get a job in Major League Baseball.
Do you know what it is?
So fucking critical of Robert Manfred before.
Yep. He's cocky and they hate him, dude. And he's smart and he's cocky and they fucking just hate him. Like it's literally like did you see his fucking thing with Luke Voit in the Mexican League or whatever that he's playing in? His Luke Voit at bat? He said, I gave him a chance.
I've one of the most interesting things that I've seen to get an understanding of how he works as a pitcher.
Yeah.
There's a baseball content creator I follow. It's King of JUCO. It's this chubby Asian dude.
Okay.
That was a JUCO baseball player, couldn't make it pro, but he's got a great camera presence. He talks a lot of shit, but he's really funny, and he does know baseball. He's got a good cut at the plate, but he's a bigger dude, so unless you're a catcher, you're not going to last very long in the league at that size.
G-Man Joy.
And and they have Bauer on a few times a year, and Bauer talks his way through stuff and how he sees stuff at the plate. If you want to also following Trevor Bauer on socials is great, because he posts a lot of content, like videos of his outings and stuff like that, and talking about that shit. He had a 19 strikeout outing a couple of weeks ago in the Mexican League.
Yeah.
The dude still has it.
He throws, what's he throw to fucking Luke? That Luke Voit at bat is really interesting, because he throws it's literally, that's what it was. He said that he threw 2 sliders, just nasty, like 93-mile-an-hour sliders, right? And
Huge fucking break.
Voit looked at him like, come on, bro. Like, Voit was mad at him for throwing breaking balls, right? And he goes, what is he fucking mad at me for throwing sliders for? He goes, all right. And he goes, I threw him a fucking cutter. I said, I gave him a fucking shot. He goes, I told him right down the middle. And he does. He's like, all right. And he like just goes,
and he fucking watched it go by.
Yep. Yeah, just right down the middle. Yep.
And that's the thing is Trevor Bauer has an amazing arm and he is great at location. And that's why I like watching him pitch, is because he puts the ball where he wants it to most of the time. And it's hard for pitchers to get that accurate. Location is a hard thing for pitchers to master.
Right.
And I don't think the average baseball fan understands how hard it is for a guy to be able to throw accurately at 90 plus miles an hour consistently. It's a fucking talent. That's why guys like Garrett Cole and Spencer Strider are so fucking amazing. Paul Skeens, holy shit.
Yeah, starting the All-Star game.
They start the All-Star game after 11 outings. That's insane.
Because that's called an eye test, guys. Just for everybody who's like, oh, well, stats are, you don't win his titles. That's called Paul Skeens is one of the greatest pitchers that's ever. This is literally not jumping the gun, because if he gets injured, whatever. Still, from what you've seen eye test wise, Paul Skeens is one of the top 10 greatest pitchers of all time.
One of the greatest pitching rookies of all time. And I fucking loved Spencer Strider as a rookie, and I banged the fucking desk for him to get Rookie of the Year for the National League.
And Michael Harris won it.
So far, when Michael Harris won it, right? Yeah. Paul Skeens so far clearly deserves it. There's no question. There's no fucking question.
He's so nasty, dude. Like, and that's where we're not going to get into this, but like, Tony, I just want to make the point made here. Fucking the eye test versus the fucking stats and the actual like titles and stuff for me, the eye test is so high. I think people like fucking misjudge what I'm saying sometimes. Do you know what I'm saying? Because like,
you're right.
I think that Pat Mahomes is the greatest quarterback that's ever played in the NFL. Okay. Hands down, I think he's the greatest quarterback that's ever played. And that's right now. I'm not talking about when he catches up to fucking Brady and fucking titles, because as a quarterback playing the position, the eye test to me and pretty much everybody else is that dude is the most talented person to ever step on a fucking football field for that position. I don't think there's, you know what I'm saying?
He is the most talented. And I don't say that because I'm a Chiefs fan. I say that because like, and I will even call myself out here, and I do this every once in a while just so people don't forget. I was against the Chiefs signing, the Chiefs drafting Pat Mahomes. I thought the reason that John Dorsey got fired from the Chiefs was because he decided to go with Mahomes, and the Chiefs were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And and that's clearly not what happened. Like,
right. It might have been, dude.
Like, be honest. There is so much, but there is so much about what Pat Mahomes does that does not get appreciation. But when it comes to the greatest of all time, that's where I think it's reasonable for things like titles and accolades as a whole. Now, I think that
I should keep it to most talented. That's where it probably is at.
But here's the hard part. When you're looking at the greatest of all time and why it's just not about talent, because how many guys had a lot of talent, but because of a lack of recognition, never even made the pros, never even made, that hard part of getting past your rookie contract in a pro sport, or even that 10-year mark.
I don't think it's ever about, I think that if you're going to get into the pros, I see what you're saying as far as like, if they're already pros, that can happen for sure. I'll give you that. Like, I don't think that doesn't ever happen in any levels before that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that if you're good enough at fucking any sport, you are going to get noticed and take, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be like out there crushing, like Trevor Bauer came, that's different circumstances. Like, you can't just be out there crushing different leagues and people not be like, oh, he could probably play in the pros, and somebody not make a tryout. Like, that's all these guys do all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're on to it. Like, I think that can, but like, yeah.
Right. But it's, for the most part, yeah, I think you're correct. And talent is a huge factor. And talent is why I believe that Pat Mahomes, as far as the GOAT conversation for like Mahomes and Brady and the NFL and all of that, I think that he is even with Brady. Because, like, if you look at when the Patriots went back-to-back and they were coming around into that season where they were going to three-peat, The Patriots at that point got ripped apart because of salary cap casualties more than anything. But that team, after that repeat, when they got the second one in a row, that team really got more dismantled. And so when they went into looking at that possible three-peat, everybody, there was not a consideration that they could make it. Like, there wasn't really a question like, they're going to be a good team, but they're not in a position to make this a three-peat.
Right.
There's not a single fucking person that understands football that looks at the Chiefs right now and doesn't go, they could fucking do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, objectively, you cannot look at Kansas City and not go, they could fucking do this.
100%.
And
as long as 15's healthy.
As long as 15's healthy.
That's it.
And that's the difference. And that's why Pat Mahomes gets to stand next to Brady right now for me. But I think I still believe, on the objective side, I still believe that it takes more than a three-peat for him to move past Brady.
But I'm not even talking like that's where we get so confused, I think. I'm not talking about accomplishments at all. I'm literally talking about if you had a fantasy draft of one guy that you could get for his whole career based on attributes, based on arm strength, based on moxie, based on athleticism, based on all the things that make a great quarterback, based on mind, based on fucking the feel for the game, all that shit. All of the things put in there. If you get to just draft them and you get them for their whole career, Patrick Mahomes is the number one overall pick in the all-time NFL draft. If everybody's in their prime, he's the number one pick. That's what I'm saying talent-wise. Right? Yeah, if you play out a scenario over a certain period of time, there's still guys who are more talented. There's dudes who have never won a Super Bowl. Randy Moss never won a Super Bowl, okay? A little different quarterback, but like because the quarterback changes it in baseball or football, so that's
right.
But you take him number one overall just on pure like who's the best at the job to do in that sport. Do you know what I'm saying? That to me is the GOAT. That's where I think a lot of like I don't really the accomplishments to me are like, okay, yes, these accomplishments, got it, right? It adds to it. You have to do it, right? You have to do it. But for me, the reason why I think when I look at accomplishments and stuff, like when I'm looking at Brady, the things that I'm giving credit for are not just the Super Bowl rings, because as much as I get why people are going to look at that as a reference in this conversation, Patrick Mahomes, if Patrick Mahomes was the sole reason why Kansas City won every Super Bowl, they would have beat Tampa Bay. For sure. Because if you look at how Patrick Mahomes played that game good enough that Kansas City could have won. Absolutely. It was the other issues around him that kept that from happening because of how much of a team sport football is. It is. So I can't, like, when it comes close to the end of Mahomes' career and everybody's like, well, Brady beat Mahomes. Great. Mahomes didn't have a fucking offensive line at all. It was fucking shattered. You can't hold that. I'm sorry, but that doesn't fucking matter to me because that matters in a Super Bowl. Your quarterback protection and your defense matter in a fucking Super Bowl. And Chiefs didn't really have a defense at that point because Bob Sutton didn't know his head from a hole in the ground. Right. It wasn't Bob. It was Spags at that point, wasn't it? Yeah, because they got rid of Bob Sutton after they lost in the AFC Championship. So to New England. Yeah. So it was Spags, but I correct my statement there. But they didn't have the defense that they have now. So there are so many reasons why you can reduce the weight that has on the conversation. Plus what he was up against. Exactly. Jesus. That's stacked fucking Tampa Bay team. Well, I'm saying that and like you have Brady in one of the last years of his career. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that, like Brady was going to will whatever team. And he had a more talented team and he was going to will that thing to a fucking title regardless. Like Patrick had a lot of shit stacked against him. And like you said, he almost still fucking won. So like yeah, like, I don't know. It's just, do you know what I'm saying? Like just attribute wise, like, I don't know. It's hard to explain, I guess. But like, yes, the accomplishments have to be there, but the accomplishments come naturally with that stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you're that good at the position, like Aaron Rodgers hasn't won as many Super Bowls as I think his talent should have won him Super Bowls, right? Here's the thing. And I'm going to say this, and there's some people that may rub me the wrong way or that may look at me side on this. On paper, talent wise, I would take Aaron Rodgers over Tom Brady. Right, absolutely. I don't think that's egregious at all, Tony. That's 100%. No. That's because you and I have a similar line of thinking on this because of the weight of talent.
Tom Brady is not a super talented quarterback. Tom Brady got to where he was because of the things that he did off the field and his mental toughness.
Absolutely.
Aaron Rodgers has gotten the respect that he has gotten in the league because of pure fucking talent.
Aaron Rodgers and Pat Mahomes were born to be quarterbacks. Tom Brady was made into a quarterback. Tom Brady made himself into a quarterback. All right. That's literally the difference. Like
you're right. You're 100% correct. I completely agree with you.
And that's where Tom's mental acumen comes in. That's why he's so amazing. Is really what it is. Because that dude's mind, he's a serial killer. Like I don't think that fucking on what's the roast where it was fucking Bert Kreischer and God damn it, Bert Kreischer and fucking Tom Segura, and she's like two peas in each other's mouth, and like but like they go out there and they literally do. Tom Segura does, and you can tell it's Tom Segura's idea. He does the evidence that fucking Tom Brady is a fucking psychopath, like that he's a sociopath, and it's on. Like he starts putting up fucking pictures of Hitler and shit. Like he's like, yeah, look at see, exact same gaze. And like it's so good because Tom Brady is a fucking serial killer, bro.
He is.
He's a psychopath. You guys don't understand that. Like that guy is crazier than you can fucking imagine. Like,
there's so many there's so many traits out of an individual like Tom Brady that it's not talent that gets them where they get. It's the mental side, because it's not like Kobe. Kobe had the talent and used the mental side to push him that much farther.
Right.
There was not as much physical talent out of Tom Brady as damn near any quarterback that he faced. Now, I'm not saying
you're right.
He didn't have as much talent as Trendover. Clearly, he was more talented than Trendover.
Right.
But, clearly he was more talented than Eli Manning.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's a dude, a son of a fucking quarterback. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like there's a couple guys. Yeah.
Nick Foles, it was not his talent.
About the same.
I mean.
Right. No, I get what you're saying.
It was not his talent, or it was not his mental side that cost him against Nick Foles. It was the talent.
Yep.
So I'm going to adjust my statement against Nick Foles. It was not the mental side that cost him the game against Eli Manning or Nick Foles. It was talent.
Yes, sure.
Because raw talent is not what Tom Brady has.
Right.
Or had. I guess I should say.
Still probably has.
Has. I mean, realistically.
Took really good care of himself, obviously, too. So like he made himself a better athlete than he was, but he still looked like, guys, go to your local accounting office and just look at the guy who works there. That's what Tom Brady looks like with his shirt off. Just like imagine that guy with his shirt off, and then you can be like,
he would at least be an attorney.
Yes, he's the sleazeball attorney. Like that guy, that guy that takes it takes $12,000.
Yeah.
Yes, like he starts a fucking a mass tort. He's a mass tort lawyer. That's Tom Brady outside of.
Could you imagine Tom Brady on a commercial? If you or a loved one has mesothelioma.
Yes. Did you Camp Lajoine? Did any of you or your associates work at Camp Lajoine? Were you a military person and lived at Camp Lajoine? Like, yeah, it's like he would have. The thing is, he'd have been a fucking multimillionaire doing that too, just running some mass torts like it was fucking his job. He would have fucking all the mass tort rings, dude. Like because he was going to be good at anything. It's because he has his intangible was his mental toughness. But you look at guys like Aaron Rodgers, like Mahomes, who have at least some mental toughness. I think that I think Aaron's is questionable.
Yeah, and that's the thing is with Aaron Rodgers, you kind of have to adjust the bar for that.
Yeah, I think Pat's literally just comes from him being, dude, he knows how fucking good he is. He knows how good he is. Like, so that's all it comes from. It's like, hey, we can still do this, bro. I'm really fucking, like, we're really fucking good. I'm really good.
Because there's so many times where we talk about with professional athletes that some of their mentality in their position comes from the fact that they have simply heard you're the best for the entire time that they've grown up.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes took it one step further. He was the fucking best. Here's how great Patrick Mahomes is. He made Cliff Dingleberry look like he could be an NFL coach.
Like Mike Tyson up in there. Looking like fucking Mike Tyson running the fucking spread.
100%.
Looking like, yeah, just down fucking, looking like fucking old Gunther Cunningham. Like, just fucking slicing up people, dude. Yeah.
And that's the thing is because, and that's why mental health is important, because mental toughness can get you through so much. I have faced in my own life, I've faced a lot of shit where the fact that I was taking care of my mental health and I had more mental toughness got me through more extreme shit that I would have completely folded under pressure for 10 years before.
Yeah.
But with Patrick Mahomes, he doesn't have to rely on the mental toughness. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to rely on the mental toughness because he knows he can throw that ball 80 fucking yards.
Yeah. Yeah, and there is, and like it's gonna be interesting to see how that works for Pat later in his life, because tell you what, he's got an interesting one coming up. You know what I'm saying? Like those are gonna be some. Can you imagine what that guy's life is like right now? Let alone in fucking 10 years, he's getting worse, right? He's on the decline. There's all that fucking money. It's what is his personal, like he has to in his personal life have fucking strong mental health, because that seems like a nightmare of a life to like. It would be great having that money. It'd be great having all those things that he has. But what? More money, more problems, bro. And more fame.
So, but here's the thing. I want to point out something. So Andy Reid said something recently that I thought was really interesting about the whole Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, that I think can apply in this. Because when Andy Reid was interviewed, because obviously the Kansas City's getting ready to start training camp at St. Joe in a week or so. I think tomorrow is when they start, actually. And somebody asked, I want to say it was Rich Eisen actually, asked Andy Reid his thoughts on the whole Travis and Taylor relationship. One of the things that he pointed out was when Taylor comes to Travis's game, she gets to relax and watch Travis play. She's not the show. The show is on the fucking field, because everybody can talk about, the 4 or 5 entire times a game, when Taylor Swift gets the fucking camera on her and bitch and piss and moan about it because they want to be a fucking dingleberry. But she's just there to support her man. She's not the show. The pressure's off of her. She doesn't have to perform. And when Kelsey's in fucking Amsterdam, standing backstage while she performs on the fucking Eras tour, the camera's on him.
Yeah. Yep.
He gets to take that off. And for Pat, when it's not football season, he does get to take a bit of a break.
Sure.
He does get to, because like you see, like if you follow Pat on Instagram or X or whatever, you get to see like a lot of his posts become about him being a dad.
I'm 297th in line to adopt Patrick Mahomes. There's 296 applications in front of us. I don't think that anybody's ever going to move down the list, because I think they're not going to get approved.
Nobody's giving up.
Nobody. Like he's 27. You can't do that. He's an adult. Like, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing this?
And so Patrick does get that break. And because I think that it'd be worse. I honestly think that it would be harder for him if he was a baseball player. The reason why I say that is because the baseball season is 9 fucking months. So
not going to be as famous as he is being a baseball player either.
Right. I mean, but I mean, you look at a guy like him, realistically, he'd probably be a pitcher. So he's only pitching once every 5 days. But now you're looking at, he is, for whatever team he's on, the equivalent of Clayton Kershaw, where your team's success is judged by your outing.
Sure.
So there is some weight there. You're Chris Sale with Atlanta because Spencer Strider's out for the year.
Right. Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole, sort of. Yeah.
Right.
That offense is obviously good. Yeah.
Your team's success is judged by your outing. But, so especially in the postseason for baseball, the length of time, the amount of time that he's having to spend away from his family, I think that would be harder for him than an NFL season, which, when you factor in the postseason, training camps, everything else, realistically, 7 months.
And you only got to fly like 11 times the whole fucking time.
Right.
Back and forth.
More time at home. So right. I think for, and like even during the football season, there's times in the evenings where you get a post. Travis is just watching a basketball game.
Right.
Or I'm sorry, Patrick is just watching a basketball game. Patrick is hanging out with Travis. They go to a fucking concert. Like, he gets that time to be human. And so I think that makes a difference in his ability to maintain mental toughness. And I think that he does also have that advantage because his dad was Pat Mahomes Sr. And I'm not saying that Pat Mahomes Sr. was a great athlete in baseball, because he fucking wasn't.
He obviously was a great athlete because he played baseball, but yes, like per Major League Baseball, no.
You get, but Pat Mahomes Sr. was still there. He was still at that level. So Patrick Mahomes Jr. comes up with the understanding that his dad's feeding him that information, because his dad knows pretty early on that Jackson is fucking useless.
Yeah, he knew that like out of the womb.
And like that probably didn't take very long to figure out.
When my dog humps my leg, I call it Jackson Mahomes.
and so I truly believe that Senior was like, hey, you're working towards a certain position. And the things that you need to understand is that your mind is what's going to make or break you. Because, I mean, you and I both love sports. How many times have we seen people with insane amount of pure raw talent that didn't do anything with it?
Right.
And that's why I think that talent has weight, but when you're looking at a GOAT conversation, it can't be the end all be all, because of the amount of people that we've seen that had pure raw talent that is fucking amazing that didn't go anywhere.
Okay. I'm about to make a huge statement right here, Tony. Okay, you ready for this?
All right, I got you.
I think LeBron James is the most naturally talented at basketball that's ever lived. And I think Michael Jordan it's hard for me to say. Michael Jordan with accomplishments is probably the greatest NBA player of all time. But I think accomplishments-wise and with everything that goes into it as far as like the medals and the things, okay, I get it, guys.
No, because that's still Bill Russell.
No, just because of the globalization. I get the globalization. I get the globalization and everything about it. Like, obviously he was a great player physically. I love Michael Jordan, but like he was obviously a great player physical and everything like that. He wasn't more talented at basketball than LeBron James. He wasn't.
Well, no, and here's the thing. If you're looking at pure talent, I agree with you. It's LeBron James. But if you're going to look at accolades, it has to be Bill Russell.
It has to be the Jordan. No, because Russell didn't play. The NBA wasn't the NBA in the 50s. It wasn't what it is now.
That's Russell's fault.
It's not. But Bill Russell's born 30 years later. He's not even you know what I'm saying? Like you have to look at what they are as players. Like the growth of athletes, everything has to be involved.
Babe Ruth is still considered one of the greatest baseball players of all time, but he was hitting fucking meatballs. He didn't even face a black baseball player or even a Latin American one.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So how can you call
Babe Ruth?
I
think Babe. I don't think Babe Ruth starts in the fucking. I don't think Babe Ruth plays a fucking. I think he gets ousted in the minors. People would be really mad at me for saying that. I don't think Babe Ruth's a fucking major league player.
In modern day, no, he's not. No, you're 100% correct, and I say that as a passionate baseball fan. I completely agree.
Yeah. So, like, I think a lot of people would be mad at us for that, but like, he wasn't.
Right.
He wasn't, guys. He was fucking like, yeah. But
sound off in the comments if you disagree, but I think he's fucking right.
There's like a level of like, it has to be like. I understand what you're saying. That's the huge hole in my argument. I understand that that's the huge hole in my argument. Is like, you can't. But then every single time that like, so just basically enough time passes, there's never going to be a guy. Somebody will beat LeBron. Somebody will beat Jordan. If enough time passes, if it continues to evolve like this, right? Because that will, there'll be Wemby.
That's the point. That's the natural evolution of the sport. And the problem with the LeBron Jordan debate is there are so many people that are refusing to accept how much the landscape of basketball has changed. Because when you look at the arguments like Jordan didn't change teams to chase a ring, I completely understand that argument. But in 1995, you really didn't, or in 1996, we'll say Jordan coming back after his year in baseball to distract from the fact that his dad got killed because of his gambling debts. It's not like, Jordan comes because in reality, if Jordan came back from that hiatus and told Jerry Reinsdorf, I will come back and play basketball.
Yeah.
But I'm going to announce that I'm coming back, and then you're going to trade me to, arbitrary example here, the Phoenix Suns.
Okay.
Me, Charles Barkley, and Steve Nash are going to go get a ring.
That dilutes.
If Jordan had said that,
yeah,
Jordan is probably the one player where Jerry Reinsdorf would have been like, all right, Jerry Colangelo, the owner of the Suns at the time, and yes, I know that to be accurate because I lived in Arizona and Jerry Colangelo owned basically everything fucking Arizona sports related at the time. Jerry Colangelo sits down at the table and they come up with an agreement that works for them, and they bring him in and he goes, Jordan, okay, we've got Nash, we've got Barkley, what else do you want?
Wouldn't have had Nash, but yeah.
Or no,
Kevin Johnson, those boys. Kevin Johnson, Charles Barkley, Dan Marley.
Okay,
Dan Marley and all those guys. Yeah.
Okay, you're right. Nash didn't come into like what, 97?
Nash was a rookie in 96, 97.
Okay, so yeah. All right.
He would have been later in the
But that's what I'm saying. It was 96. So they've just drafted Nash. You've got your point guard. You've got Charles Barkley. You've got Michael Jordan. You could fill in a couple of pieces, and that's a fucking finals team. I mean, just with those three, you could fill in fucking bums off the street playing street ball in New York, and
that's not how it was. Like, your point is like that's not how it was.
But that's not how basketball was at the point, because the owners and the organization still had so much control. The NBA now is so much more player centric, and the players just decide, you know what, I want to change the scenery. I don't have to pay these stupid fucking tax rates.
Yeah. A catalyst of which was LeBron James. One of them. There was several, but like a catalyst to that actually happening, where the owners loosened up power. You know what I'm saying? And it became a free players own, like a players are most important league, was because of LeBron James. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that's that's really, LeBron James was coming into the league was really when the tide started to change with that. Because, and here's the thing that frustrates me about LeBron getting criticized for leaving. In 2010, because it was 2010 when LeBron left Cleveland the first time, wasn't it? 2010, yes. Okay. Yep. Yes.
Nobody faulted him for leaving Cleveland.
Oh, they absolutely faulted him.
No, because everybody.
The decision thing was after, huh?
No, it was after. It was the second time he left Cleveland he got criticized, because when he left Cleveland the first time, he was like, I want to go get a ring, and it's not going to happen here. And everybody's like, yeah, no, it's not going to happen there. This makes sense.
Right, but most of the public killed him for one of them. Was it the move from Cleveland to? Wasn't the decision when he went to Miami? Yeah, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach. That was the fucking decision, right? That's when people really started hating him. Like that he held. It was
the second time he left Cleveland that he started getting criticized for it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Really? Because I'm pretty sure a bunch of people were.
Because like there was some pop culture decisions when he, the first time he left. Yeah, I think that was the decision when I'm taking. Yeah. But like true basketball fans are like, no, you're not going to get a ring in Cleveland. You're one of the greatest basketball players to ever step on the fucking court. You absolutely deserve a ring.
Good point.
It shouldn't be an Allen Iverson situation. The intelligent basketball fans at the time didn't criticize that move. It was the second time he left Cleveland that it really started to open that can of worms.
Yeah.
And that's the thing for me is then it was okay, but now we're going to hold it against him because it gives us the strength to argue against, Jesus Jordan.
Because at that time, in 2010, the GOAT conversation wasn't even happening. Like, he'd only been in the league for 6 years. He didn't even have a title. He was like Luka Doncic, basically, almost like an old. You know what I'm saying? Like that was.
And the comparison to the closest comparison I can come up with to him leaving Cleveland the first time would be if in 92, after they lost in the playoffs to fucking Larry Bird again, if Michael decided that it wasn't enough and he wanted out.
He's going to Boston.
He's going to Boston, or he's going to, whatever. But the players didn't, like we talked about, the players didn't have the power then that they have now.
Not at all.
And so that's why for me, I can't hold it against him because the players didn't have the same amount of power. The league controlled the narrative at that point. They don't now.
Right.
Adam Silver doesn't have control over the fucking narrative of basketball. He just knows how to roll with it. And that's the difference.
Right. And why would you not want to see like I understand that you would think it was top heavy or something, but like there wasn't really there was dynasties, but like they weren't by the ones with the most talented rosters. You know what I'm saying? Like they weren't the ones that are the most stacked. It was like You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, why would people hate that? Like, wouldn't you want all the great players to be on one team? Like, I understand how it dilutes the fucking LeBron thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it basically says like, oh, he needed all this help to do it. It's like, no, motherfuckers. Like, there's more goddamn good players in the league now. Sorry, that's what I always go back to. I'm like, there's a lot more like talent. Unfortunately, like people that don't believe me, but like,
but that's the thing. In the NBA at that point, you had a max of 1 to 2 guys. In the 90s, you had a max of 1 to 2 guys that were your franchise players. Now, every NBA team has 3 minimum.
Or has to have 3. Like,
you have to have 3, at least 3, to be a competitor.
There's literally not a team name a team that's won a title in the last 10 years that's had just one superstar. I mean, I guess the Bucks would be one, but like to answer
no, because that's the thing though, is that Bucks team, I mean, that we would consider stars now, yes, but there were players on that Bucks team that should have been considered stars, but they didn't get taken seriously because it was the Bucks.
They were stars, but not superstars.
They weren't superstars by modern standards, but talent-wise, they had a big 3. That's the argument that I will make about that team.
Who are the other 2?
Hold on. I want to pull up that roster because and I say this because of the amount of time I spent watching them, because when they beat the shit out of the Suns, what was that, 2022?
No, it was before that.
Or was it 21?
19 is when they won 21, yeah, something like that. Yeah. 19 seems way too far back, but yeah. Yeah, Giannis. Well, I mean,
Giannis, Dame Lillard.
They had Dame Lillard at that time?
Giannis, Dame
on the
Lillard,
title team.
Yes. Giannis, Dame Lillard, Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez, and Pat Bev were their starting 5.
No way. That's their current.
They had Bobby Portis Jr. on the bench. They had Jay Crowder on that team.
Yeah, I knew that.
Was on that team. AJ Green was on that team. Chris Livingston was on that team. There was talent on that team. That team was stacked. They were just unheralded because they were fucking Milwaukee.
No, bro. They did not have Damian Lillard at that time. I'm looking at it right now. They did not have. I was gonna say, if Damian Lillard's on that team, then that's the second. Then that's the second guy you're talking about. Dame Lillard was not on that team. Dame Lillard just went to them like this last year. You have the current roster.
No, I fucking goddamn it, Google. I put in 2021 Bucks.
Yeah, you have the old one. It's all right. Chris Middleton would have been the second. Drew Holiday, DiVincenzo. There's a kind of second one for you, but not really because he's in New York now, fucking killing it. But yeah, dude, there's not a look at that roster. Tell me there's a second guy on there that's really Drew Holiday is always on winning teams, which is crazy because he's a fucking great defender. But yeah, like Giannis is the only guy that you could really call a fucking certified star. Dame Lillard now would be definitely considered that. You know what I'm saying? Like now they have, and then Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton's the second best player on their team, or the second best scorer at least.
Hold on. Here, I'm gonna look at this.
Have you seen Nick Wright's wife, by the way?
She's a smoke show.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. I'm okay. PJ Tucker, that roster, the starting 5 was PJ Tucker, Giannis, Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday.
Yes, they played really good defense for sure, and they that's a good starting 5 though, especially those guys fucking.
It is. Because and so I will say that while they didn't have the technical big 3, that was still a top tier lineup because everybody on that starting 5 was above average.
I'll give you that. That's like a Jordan 90s Bulls team where it's at the top, it's fucking really high, right? And then there's no Pippen on this, but like there's a step down and there's no superstar. Because I don't think Pippen was even a superstar. The second 3 definitely was because the
second 3 was for sure.
Yeah, because he was there for the first 3, right? So like Rodman would have been so much bigger if Rodman was. Can you imagine if Rodman was there for all 6 of them? Like Rodman would be a fucking icon, bro. He would be an icon.
He would be far bigger than he is. And but I don't think Rodman gets the credit that he deserves for that fucking run because the mental impact that he had on that court was unheralded.
It was. He was Draymond Green, and I'm not like I actually am a kind of a Draymond Green fan. Like I don't.
Yeah. No.
Like, Draymond he has a lot of enemies, but it's like their Draymond Green basically. That was Rodman essentially.
He was their Draymond Green and their Pat Bev, but he was the thing about like Draymond and Pat Bev are more of a mental impact than a stat sheet impact. Rodman had the mental impact, but he also had a bigger impact on the stat sheet, and that's where and that's the thing that I don't think gets respected as much as it should, is he was still a solid basketball player above the fact that mentally he got inside your head.
Absolutely. He just, I'd say he just, more than Pat Bev for sure, because Pat Bev's not really that good of a player, but like, honestly, I don't think so. Like, I think his obviously his dog is what drives Pat Bev. But like,
for sure.
Draymond, but like, I get what you're saying though, because Draymond fucking played with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in their primes, and it was like, what can you do wrong as a power forward? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Just pass it to anybody, pretty much.
That's the thing is, and with Draymond, like, he didn't have to be as good because of what was around him,
Right.
whereas the standard was different in Chicago because they did need that help.
Yeah, he's like Ron Artest.
Yeah,
it's like Ron Artest and fucking Chris Birdman Anderson and Draymond all fucking smashed together and had a kid, and that's fucking Dennis Rodman. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just madness. Like, it's just a madness goulash of like him partying all night and fucking showing up for finals games and shit. Fucking Carmen Electra, because apparently the dude's dick is like fucking 18 inches long.
And Madonna.
He has a list.
There was a sex tape of him and Madonna.
You can tell by the rings underneath that man's eyes how rough of a fucking time he has had. Have you seen that fucking guy's eyelids, dude? Good God.
His time was so rough that he enjoyed his friendship with Kim Jong-un.
Absolutely. Yes. He spent time. He spent so much time with his eyes squinted because he is so high that they are stuck like that. And there's actual fucking actual folds in his face from it. Imagine, that person, like, they were like that for so much.
Bags under his eyes. He has fucking suitcases.
They're bad, dude. Like, and there's no way that those are, like, that's not repairable. Like,
there's not enough Botox in the world to fix that, bro.
In his old ass fucking blue tattoos. He's that motherfucker still has fucking gauges in his ears too. They're this big. I mean, they look like my earphones.
They have got to be flirting with jump rope status at this point, because like there's some point where that just starts to hang the fuck down.
He better be wearing shit in him and not doing that thing where dudes just let him hang down. Like, I want to fucking stick my fucking fist inside of one of those and just like rip it down. And be like,
I have mad respect for anybody that does gauges and take care of them, because that's a lot of work and a lot of pain that you have to fucking go through to make that happen.
Yeah.
But if you just let it go and that shit's just hanging down, it's disgusting.
Right. Just cut it off. Just don't have an earlobe. You know, it would look less weird than that.
You're right.
Anything looks less weird than that.
Cut that shit off. At least the rest of it might start to grow back down.
Yeah, just even it out. You know, you can do it at home. Get you a bottle of Jack Daniels. Okay, that's gonna be your first thing, and then a pair of scissors. Just go in there.
Because you remember, like, when we used to do ear piercings in somebody's basement, you get a couple of ice cubes, put it on either side to get it nice and numb.
Yep. Just do that. And then get one of them paper cutters. You know what I'm talking about? Like big paper slicers. And just fucking line that fucker up right next to the thing. And just have your buddy fucking just go, dude. Boom, real fast. And it'd be fine. It would hurt really bad. All right? For like a little bit. But like, at least you don't have that thing. Like, there's so much. The alternative is so much worse than all of that.
So much worse.
Like, just, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Stop doing that.
Like I said, if you're going to take care of it, you're going to wear it right. It's not
awesome.
a bad thing. I know plenty of people with body mod shit. Guy that I used to work with at Cafe, his name's Jordan Lawson. He actually does piercings.
Yeah. Yep. He's got awesome gauges. They're like fucking
awesome. He's fucking fantastic. He's the nicest dude.
Yeah.
The nicest fucking dude. I worked with him for over a year. It was an amazing dude. But he takes care of his shit, so it looks good.
Right.
But if you don't take care of your shit, it fucking starts to hang really quick and it looks horrible. It's fucking awful.
It's like the sexy side of sadomasochism. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that's what I mean. What's better than that, guys? Let's be honest. Like, what's more attractive than that?
All right, so we're at an hour and a half. And so this is normally when you and I get close to tapping out anyway. So let's go ahead and take a few minutes and talk about what happened in Pennsylvania over the weekend with the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump.
This will be the shortest segment that we do.
And here's, and really, I've only got one thing to say on this, because regardless of your political views, you can't advocate for this because that's fucking horrible. We are an evolved country. Discourse is how we solve our problems. Violence isn't going to fucking get us anywhere.
It's like the ultimate, like trying to get in a fist fight with somebody because you can't beat them in an argument.
Exactly. And that's and so that's the thing, is because I'm not a Trump supporter, and I'm not a Biden supporter either. So let's make that fucking clear. But you can't advocate for this, and so that's the first thing. But the thing for me is, this person that shot at Trump was less than 200 yards away. This is a former fucking president. If Bush or Obama or Clinton or old ass Jimmy fucking Carter is speaking out in public at an open air event, the Secret Service has no less than a half-mile perimeter. No less than a half-mile perimeter. If Biden is speaking in public as the current president, that perimeter is at least a mile.
They have dudes in convenience stores 2 miles away, just in street clothes, that are walking around, looking around. They're literally just like fucking. They know what's going on.
How the fuck does somebody with a rifle get within 200 yards of a former president?
They don't. They don't. Not naturally. They don't.
The number of people that were reported to have seen this nutsack climbing onto the roof where he allegedly shot at Trump from, that was, like I said, less than 200 yards away.
There's people saying there was a dude climbing, like they saw a dude climbing on there before.
Yeah,
I heard the audio where there's a dude yelling. He's like yelling, "Hey, there's somebody on that fucking roof over there. Somebody on that roof!" Like he's yelling. He's telling people, what in the fuck is going on?
How the fuck does this happen?
It doesn't.
That's my question. There are way too many questions about this, because, I mean, any sensible person clearly agrees this is not how you solve the fucking problem. We have fucking rules in place for shit like this because of how evolved we are as a society. How the fuck does this happen?
Bro, can we let's just lay it down first and just say that me and Tony both agree that if there's an actual dude, 20-year-old guy, who shot at Donald Trump, that's the fucking stupidest thing ever. That guy fucking, I'm glad he got his head blown off. He's an idiot, and that's dumb, and nobody should ever do that. Like I said, it's like literally trying to fist fight somebody because you can't beat them in an argument. So like, let's just fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the ultimate fucking, it's the ultimate part of it. Anyway, we don't condone it at all. Also, what in the fuck is going on? What is going on?
You and I have a lot of experience in the Midwest that tends to be more conservative and a lot more loose gun laws. And the people that we know that everybody seems to be super fucking worried about, that have all these guns, they go to the fucking range. You and I can throw a rock and hit somebody that can tell you how close they can shoot inside of 100, 200, and 300 yards. With iron sights, some of them.
Yeah.
So how does a 20-year-old, this doesn't make fucking sense to me.
No, it doesn't. And where is, so this kid, did he have like immense former military training and
20-year-old kid
and being, you know what I'm saying, like with guns, and it was exactly none of that happened, right? There's nothing saying that he was some kind of like he might, because to get within 136 yards on top of a fucking rooftop and get off a rifle shot at a former president.
One.
No, guys, it doesn't happen. I don't know how nobody's seeing that. Like, dude, this is apparent at this point. Like, how loud do we have to yell this, that this is not a real thing? Like, that could not have fucking happened if everything was actually how it was supposed to be. So all we are saying is that something is not being told to us that is definitely true about that event. Let's just say that. I'm not going to say who it was or anything. If that was a massive security failure, that is the most massive security. It is literally the worst thing that's ever happened in.
So here, I said this earlier. It was a comment. So I think I sent you the video too. Sammy Obed comic had like 10 rapid fire jokes about what happened. Yeah. And that was fucking solid. If you're a fan of Sammy Obed, he's a Middle Eastern comic that lives in the US. Fucking hilarious. Is amazing. And I sent the video to Dan, and for me, the tinfoil hat wearing people, we kind of have to listen to them because there's so many fucking questions about this. Like,
that's not tinfoil hat, dude. I don't even think it's that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that some people will see it as that. Like, oh, there's definitely somebody definitely tried to. We're not actually saying that there's not somebody who tried to kill him, but what we are saying is that why was he allowed to do things that he did before he actually got a shot? At that very least, why was that allowed to happen?
But there were some people that were criticizing him already making jokes. First of all, as stand-up
comic,
I'm sorry. That's what. No, it's sorry. I kind of got lost in thought there for a second. But as comics, first of all, that's all we do. So if you're going to criticize him or any of the other comics that are making jokes about this, go fuck yourself. But there were people that were criticizing it's offensive jokes. I said if this is really how this happened, there was literally that much of a failure. The last time there was a security failure this fucking big, 4 planes went down.
Yes, that's a good point. It's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Like, as a comic, like I could spin that into a joke if I wanted to, but that's the fucking truth.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you fail this bad?
Yeah. This was which just, Tony, that's so perfect though. Like how you said it's so perfect though, because it just implies, guys, that you need to ask some more questions, because there's so many people who like just, the first thing I said, one of the first things I said when I let it sink in for a second, I'm watching the video on fucking MSNBC or some shit. I'm like, what else is going on right now? What are they doing right now? What's the government doing?
Us from?
What's the government doing? What are they fucking turning our heads for? Because this is the ultimate fucking Kansas City shuffle, where you look left and they turn right. This is the ultimate one, guys. They're doing something underneath the, like, you know what I'm saying? That's just what I thought. That was my first thought. But like,
there was that Robin Williams 2009 special, Weapons of Mass Distraction.
Yeah. Yep. What else was going on? And then did you see in the original video, the camera guy like goes epileptic about halfway through the thing. He's like, oh, what's over here? And it starts, how do you not have he goes to the point where there's that combine, and then like it's the video and everything is too perfect. It's too perfect.
The Secret Service lets him stop and put his fist up.
Where's the blood on his hand, by the way, Tony? That's my biggest piece of evidence, by the way. Where's so you get shot in the right ear. What's your fucking first thing that you're gonna do? That's hot. It hurts like a motherfucker.
Fucking video.
There's no blood on his hand, on his cufflink, anywhere on that man's right arm. There is no blood. Go watch the video. There's not one, and his ear's bleeding. It's across his face, right? And he's going, fight. And when he's putting his hand up, look at his hand the whole time. There is not one bit of blood on that right hand. You would be down on the ground, clutching your right ear because you just got shot in it, and you think he might have got more of your head. That's your first thought. If you actually get shot at and you don't know you're going to get shot, right? He doesn't know so that's your first you're on the ground like this. I don't care how fast dudes are on top of you.
Here's the thing. Let's be clear. For anybody that doesn't understand, because you've never spent a lot of time with guns, a rifle shot inside of 200 yards, you know what that fucking sound is.
Yeah.
There's no fucking question with the first shot, let alone the fact that there was allegedly multiple fucking shots.
Yeah.
What the absolute fuck happened here? There's no way that there's not more to this fucking story.
Yes. I would say we can say comfortably that all signs point towards this was in some way, somebody, that's all I'll say, knew this was going to happen. There's no way this in some way wasn't arranged before this fucking rally. Let's be completely honest. On Trump's side, it makes me go, hey, Donald, I think you were already going to win, bud. I don't think you needed to go.
I like
this has got you
that's been a consensus among intelligent political discussing individuals for the last few months. Like, clearly,
a little overkill.
Back to Trump.
This might have been a little overkill. Which scares me. Because what do you need overkill for? Like, what do you need complete, he's going to have so much support now and he's going to win in a landslide, correct? That's pretty much it.
It's going to be stupid.
It's on this fucking, right? So what do you need all of this extra fucking clout for? Because you know you're going to get elected, and then afterwards you're going to have to fucking apologize some more to us and talk about how you got shot at for our country. That's what it starts to seem like to me if you're trying to overkill it by this much. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy's already going to fucking win. There's nobody to run against him. He knows he's going to win. What is he overkilling the situation for? If he did, obviously he might have got shot.
One of the things that I think is interesting about this whole scenario is the Democratic Party fucked themselves. when they went all in on Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders. And then you squeak by with Joe Biden. And you don't do anything cohesive in his term. So now
4 years off.
You're going to come back to another term of Trump. And then you hope that you can reset with that election after and try to get some kind of a credible candidate.
It's like we're leaving the abusive boyfriend to get to the abusive husband.
You're leaving the abusive boyfriend to go back to the abusive husband so you can reset and try to get back out there. And that's what both parties are doing at this point. Because this isn't just about the Republicans do the same fucking thing.
Right. It's like reset. That doesn't sound great. You know what I'm saying? How's that? It's going to be great, but like, how's that going to play out? That's really
Are you going to, is RFK Jr. going to really have that much of a hold that we have a contested Continental Congress?
They'll actually kill him.
Oh yeah, he would actually get shot. Like that. Yeah. That's the Kennedy curse. Like if he were to actually be that close, he would be the one that would get shot.
You know what else this does? This now heightens security around Donald Trump even more than it should have been in the first place. It encloses him in a very protective cocoon of the United States government.
There's no way he does a lot of open air events in the second half of the campaign. No way.
It can get to a point where you can just be on a screen. You know what I'm saying? Just on a TV, they can do a public service announcement, whatever. They put your cable down to a couple channels, and then see this slippery slope we're starting to get on here, guys.
Yeah.
See what I'm talking about? Where I'm like, yeah, then he's going to be just a voice that comes over to a speaker, and like it's like, oh.
As you know, the Democrats on that other side of it, like the Black community doesn't support Kamala Harris because she was so anti so many things that are important to the Black community. So you're not going to get as much of that vote. Whereas Donald Trump is at least like, just leave everybody alone and go easy on the rich. You're going to get more of a Black vote that way because that's more of what was happening before versus individuals like Biden and Kamala Harris that supported, or on Biden's case, wrote the laws that had a negative impact on the federal level for the Black community in the last 50 fucking years.
Yeah.
Biden was involved in most of that.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to do something extreme to distract from that because the Black community doesn't forget.
Right. Absolutely.
They just don't.
Yeah. I feel like Trump is the dude at the party who like he just gets really drunk sometimes, and everybody's like, oh, it's just Donald. Like fucking, don't worry about him. Like he's for most of us. Whatever. Fucking, he didn't really bother anybody. And then like Biden and a lot of us, like Hillary would have been like, they're just like that maniacal person in the corner. You're like, what the fuck are they doing over there? Like they're just fucking like staring at people, and like it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a more like serious evilness to that side, like the Biden. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like they're doing shit behind closed doors that we don't know about. It's all just about him making money and shit.
Because of how long he's been a career politician, that's the question that you ask.
Yeah.
Donald Trump in his 2016 election won primarily on the fact he was like, I'm not one of them. Yep. I'm the same person 100% of the time. They're making backdoor deals. I don't do that shit. I'm the same asshole in front of and behind your back.
Yeah. Obviously, the future will tell.
And that's where he wins the vote because you know what you're going to get from Trump. You don't know what you're going to get from Biden.
That's a good point. Yeah. And or if anything else.
When they know, even if they don't like it.
Right. Yep. That makes sense. And like they know that like some shit here. That's what I was going to say. Like the future is going to tell because it depends on obviously how Donald Trump handles himself when he does get into office. Because we can both agree he's probably going to be in office. Like it obviously depends on how he handles himself. If he just keeps to that same thing that he was in his first, yeah. I think everybody will be cool with it, honestly. Be like, yeah, fuck Donald Trump. But like, won't be like fucking let's have World War III and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's fucking all stab each other in the street. Like, that's basically what we're trading off. Is like, yeah, but that's what point this country's been at for what? It's like, shit sandwich versus a,
shit sandwich versus a shit sub.
Shit sub. I mean, I love ciabatta, so I would go. I think Trump's the ciabatta, isn't he? Trump's the sub. Trump's like the panini. Like if you could have a shit panini, like you had to eat shit. You had to eat human shit, okay? Let's go through this. Are you doing toasted white bread? Or are you doing that thing? Are you doing that fucking no? Like, I feel like Biden's like not toasted bread. Like he's like just right out of the package.
Just
Okay?
the cold bread.
There's shit, and this is warm shit. This is fresh from maybe just right out of it. Like we're talking like onto the bun would be best if you just do it right on the bun. But like that's the freshest. Like if you have to eat one, okay, you're gonna go panini style, right, with some cheese, and I'm like you're gonna try and kill this thing with like the rest of the ingredients.
Everything you can to kill that flavor.
I'm going sauerkraut. I'm fucking loading everything on this motherfucker, right? Just anything you can get to get that, just fucking what's got to be earthy shit taste out of your mouth, right? It depends on whose it is too, obviously, but we won't get into that. But you would rather have the panini, is my point. I think Trump might be the panini here. He might be the shit panini.
No, you're 100% correct. It's when you're looking at the lesser, because that's ultimately where we're at. And the problem with a two-party system is you come to a point where you're deciding between the lesser of two evils. And there has been a huge perspective that Trump is the lesser of two evils. And there can be debate on the truth of that statement, but that's the way that opinion seems to have been going up into this point.
Right.
But now there's no question about the way it's going to go.
No. I mean, and it's just like what he does with it, because it seems like, guys, at this point, it doesn't look real great. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. Just some of the signs are not great. If he had anything to do with this, you understand the ramifications of like what he had. If that's the case, bro, he's overkilling. He's making sure that he's going to win for sure. And if he just said that, if I talked to him and he was drunk, we were both drunk, which is going to happen at some point. I'll be drunk with fucking Donald Trump. Probably in a bathroom somewhere. But like when we're drunk, I'm going to ask him. I'm going to be like, hey, dude, what'd you do with the whole you getting shot thing? And like, if he told me it was just so he could win a presidential election, I'd be like, bro, that's fucking savage, and I'm cool with you being the president. All right, that's just, you're a savage. You took it like that. Like if somebody had to die though, somebody died, Tony. Like I didn't know that for a second. Like we were trying to figure out where the fucking if it just nicked his ear, dude, that thing was fucking flying still, right? Like that thing was fucking flying, and it killed somebody. I didn't see that it killed somebody. Like that's what me and my buddy were saying. Like we're like, where'd the fucking bullet go? Because if it just hit him in the fucking ear, that thing was fucking flying into a crowd, right? And apparently that was what happened. When somebody took the fucking
you're right.
Jesus.
And there was a retired firefighter that was protecting his family lost his life in that.
See, yeah. So it's like if you did that. So I take back the drunk thing, but like, no, but like but I'd be like, all right, you're a savage, right? You're fucking like you did that just to be president. Like you just wanted to be president, so you could do the same old shit and fucking like not really fuck us over, but kind of fuck us over, and like you weren't gonna like start World War III and be a fucking terrible president, right? But like that was never your intention. I feel like that I would feel better about it, but like that's why the future is gonna tell. Because like I don't know if that's the case. This is setting up that he would be doing a lot.
If this was a setup and that was something that they had planned, there's no way we'll ever know. Because there's so much, this is one of those things that the government just keeps a secret because it's better that the American people don't know. That's exactly what would happen. Because if Biden walked out tomorrow morning, and let's be honest for a second. Tomorrow morning, President Joe Biden walks out and says that we have evidence to believe that that former President Donald Trump orchestrated his own assassination attempt to drive voters right before the Republican National Convention.
It's the more savage move, dude.
It's
just how savage does it get up there?
Further, the government understands that it would further divide the bases and potentially cause civil unrest. That's what it would do.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and just as a reference point, if you think of how volatile the insurrection was, January 6th, and people trying to prevent Biden from being able to take office. If you come out with that and say that, even if right after Trump says, yeah, that's exactly what happened, it would still cause so many fucking problems.
Absolutely. And nobody would buy it anyway. I think a lot of people wouldn't buy it from the right side as well. And they would just think it's
right.
That's what you're saying basically is like people would take it as like, oh, either it's true or either that's a fucking even more savage move, right? To fucking try and get back at Trump and not have him win the election, blah, 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 is what you're saying. Yeah.
Right. But I think that it would further divide the bases and cause civil unrest. And the government's like,
For sure.
we don't need that information out there. We'd rather just let everything play out and let it move forward because it's the less impactful thing to the collective American psyche.
Absolutely. And you don't think that Biden's going to do that?
There's no way, if that's actually what happened, there's no way it'll ever be actually. I would be surprised if it ever got proven or known. It would be after Trump was out of office for his second term.
After he's dead, maybe. Like after, he's yeah.
That it actually comes out like, yeah, that's what happened.
Like a JFK.
Not going to be anytime soon.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, because that's we're getting into some information there that would be, groundbreakingly volatile, like you said. That's volatility, and that's getting some people real pumped up.
Climate, that would cause chaos.
Yeah, that's getting some people real pumped up, dude. Real pumped up. Sorry.
All right. Well, for those of you that have been along with us for the journey, for the entire episode, we appreciate you and we thank you for your support. We're going to bring After Dark back on a regular basis real soon, probably Thursday nights, because I got First Generation Dad coming back this week, and that's going to be a Wednesday night show. But some of that's going to depend on this dickhead's work schedule, but we'll figure it out. We're going to get After Dark coming back on a consistent basis real soon. Next week, Monday night, the Sports Report will be back, hosted by Will Morgan, featuring myself and a smattering of other individuals, sometimes this guy, talking the world of sports as a whole as we get into NFL training camps, the heat of the Major League Baseball season, and basketball is going to be coming back real soon already.
I know, right? Summer League. It's a great time to be alive.
Summer League's going right now.
The new look for almost all young men now is to look like Dale Earnhardt in 1983. So that's a thing.
Let's close with this. What are your okay? So objective criticism. How is Bronny Jr. doing in the summer league?
Not great. He's not a great player, guys. I don't know why everybody's fucking like mad about it. He was drafted in the second round. So what that the Lakers took him? So what?
I don't think anybody was surprised by the fact that he's going to need a year in the G League before he's ready. At least a year in the G League before he's ready to play the pros.
Would Bronny James have come to the NBA right now if his dad were not LeBron James? No. He would wait. Guys, I don't know why you're mad about it though. Like he still has NBA. He could still play in the NBA. They knew he could play in the NBA, but
he just didn't need more time.
Exactly, and they didn't want to. They wanted to play together. That's their thing. Fuck you, because if they have the talent to do it, they fucking can do it. And Bronny James absolutely has NBA talent.
Here's the thing: Bronny James playing against college talent is not going to get him ready for the NBA.
No, he absolutely needs to be in the fucking Ignite, like the G League Ignite.
He does, and that's the thing. Bryce would be. I could see Bryce being better prepared to actually play in the NBA 1 year out of college than Bronny. But Bryce is a better basketball player.
He is 100%. Goggles and all, dude.
Goggles
looking like fucking Luau Dang James out there, fucking. Bro, that's what he looks like. That's how he runs and everything. He's very wiry. As they would call it. Like,
sure.
But yeah, that's good basketball players though. Look at the greatest of all, like Kevin Durant. What do you mean the definition of wiry? Like, yeah, that's just ridiculous.
He's wiry as fuck, man.
Dude, he's crazy. Hilarious. Like, he apparently, like, I know a dude who knows him, and like they said that this dude is fucking. It made me respect fucking Kevin Durant like so much. This dude is all about fucking basketball, dude. Like so much that he like lives. Like his apartment is like not anything special. Like he just like lives in the like just normal apartment. Like drives a fucking minivan around to swear to God, drives a minivan around to, and has like basketballs and fucking like stuff in the back of it, and he'll just go random pickup games all the time. He's playing basketball every single day, like against other people all the time. That's what he does. Like he's balling, ball. That's life to him. He doesn't spend any of his money. Like it's him and his mom. He's a mama's boy, and they just fucking they talk on the phone. I think she lives with him, right? So like he has it's a nice house, obviously, but like he has an apartment, minivan. Fucking dude is awesome, dude. Like but he just like sometimes it just smells like BO because he's fucking playing basketball all the time. Has mesh shorts on all the time.
The Albert Einstein of basketball.
Pretty much. He's just in it. Like, just trying to figure out fucking different. And he'll be doing it his whole life. He'll be doing it until he can't anymore. And like, that'll be a while, just so everybody knows. Like, you got at least 25 years. But
all right, everybody. Yeah. Thank you so much for supporting us. We will have After Dark back soon. We will see you next week on the Sports Report. You can catch me. New episode of First Generation Dad should be launching probably either Wednesday night or Thursday. And I will post more information about that. Thank you for supporting us. We appreciate you. We will catch you next time on the Sports Report After Dark. Everybody, have a good night.
For people watching later on YouTube, hi, future Tony. Tonight we talked about shit sandwiches and Nick Wright's wife.